Hey you guys, it's your girl Simone and welcome back to my channel. So as y'all can see by the title, today's story time is going to be on some of y'all fave character, Crazy. Yes, so as y'all can see, this is another story about Crazy. But before we go ahead and get started into this video, if you're not already doing so, y'all join the fam. It's lit over here, y'all. If you're not already doing so, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, give your girl a thumbs up, and y'all comment down below, because I swear, before I get started, I do want to say thank you to everybody who do comment, everything like that. I love all of y'all. Like, I swear, my mental health was like fucked a few days ago, and I swear, I be just reading the comments, and y'all be making me so happy. Like, I love y'all. So anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and get straight into this story. Okay, so let me get comfortable, y'all. So today's story is going to be about how I went camping with Crazy's family, and it was crazy. Anyway, so yeah, so as we go, I'll give more characters. Y'all already know names, so here we gonna go. So yeah, it was in the summertime, and Crazy family always go on a camping trip. His family on his dad's side, not his mom's side. So I don't know these people. So he like, you know, because things was just real toxic all the time with us. So he was just like, yeah, this should be cool. This should help us out. Like, this should be a cool little trip for us. So I'm like, all right, cool, I'll go. It was a weekend trip. He was like, yeah, we go camping every year in the summertime. Like, we either go to the same spot or we'll find like a new spot. But this year we're going to the same spot we went to last year. I'm like, okay, cool. So he like, yeah, my family like gonna be there. He just telling me about the trip, everything like that. So when it came day of trip, so y'all, the everything just started off fucking weird, y'all. But anyway, so we on our way there, y'all. We vibing in the car, we listening to music, you know, just eating our snacks, chilling. It's just cool. Like, he driving, whatever. It's cool the way there. When we get close by there, he was like, I'm gonna give you a rundown on everybody so you don't be like confused or nothing like that. So I'm like, okay, what's up? Like, they cool? Like, you said they cool. He's like, nah, they cool for the most part. For the most part. But anyway, so he like, yeah, my cousins is gonna be there with their girlfriends or whatever. He's like, it's gonna be two of my cousins there with their girlfriend. He's like, my other cousin, he might bring his girlfriend, he don't know. So yeah, and he was like, okay, let me tell you about my aunties though. He was all like, my aunties, he was like, one is my dad's sister and the other one is my stepmom's sister. He was like, so my auntie, we gonna give her name is gonna be Messy, and y'all see why. So he was like, Messy, that's my dad's sister, you know. He's like, she gonna try to say little stuff to you or whatever. He was like, but don't pay her no attention. Like, she just be doing that to get a thrill out of people. Like, don't pay her no mind. So I'm like, what is she finna be talking about? He's like, just don't pay her no mind. Don't be telling her your business. And I'm like, nigga, we are going on a camping trip, not Bad Girls Club. Like, why would I be telling her my business? Like, anyway, so he like, don't be telling her your business or nothing like that. So I'm like, all right. So he told me like, yeah, and my stepmom's sister, she's just real bougie. He was like, so if you got something that look like cheap or whatever or anything, or she gonna be trying to floss her talking about money and doing all this. So I'm just like, I'm not worried. Like, this is a grown ass woman and she's still doing shit like this. Like, that's weird. Anyway, but I'm like, okay. And he was like, yeah, but for the most part, everybody's cool. And he was like, my stepmom, she's real cool. So you'll like her. And he was like, but my daddy, though, let's get to him. So I'm like father, like son, like shit. Because if so, this gonna be one hell of a trip. Because if your daddy is like how you is, so he like, nah. He's like, but my dad, he player. Like, he real player. So I'm like, what? Like, what you mean? He's like, my daddy be having girlfriends and stuff like that. I'm like, ain't your dad married? Like, ain't he married? He like, yeah, but he be doing him, like, he be having girlfriends on the side. Like, he be paying them. He's like, he like young girls like you, and he be paying them. And then he gave me a look. And I'm just like, watch the road. Like, because he was staring for kind of too long. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, thinking like, what do you tell young girls like me? Like, you could have just said young girls. Like, what are you getting at? Like, so I'm just like, oh, okay, like trying to not dwell on that too much so he could change the subject. And he's like, yeah, like he be paying them too. He be paying real good. So I heard. And I'm like, oh. He's like, yep. And he's like, so you would talk to my dad? I was like, no, what the fuck? Like, why would I talk to your dad? And he was just like, I'm just kidding. He was like, but yeah, if that nigga try to talk to you or anything like that, just tell him no. I'm like, why would I tell him yes? Like, he just like, I don't know. I'm just saying, you know how people is when it comes to money. Like, when people talking the right price, and I'm just like, you being weird. Like, at this point, I was irritated. I'm like, you're being weird. Like, what are you getting at? You think I'm finna come on this trip and say, oh, you balling, Mr. Daddy? Give me some money. Like, no. Like, the fuck? I'm just like, it's like, I know I barely like you, but come on now, I ain't gonna leave for your daddy. So he like, nah, don't be mad or nothing like that. I'm just saying, like, I'm just giving you a heads up. Like, I'm just letting you know, like, my dad might like you. And he's like, but he wouldn't even do that. Like, he wouldn't do that. But I'm just saying, like, and I'm just like, okay. So it got quiet. It got quiet to where I ended up turning the music back up because it was quiet, like an awkward silence. So we still on our way there. Next thing you know, we getting off on the exit. He get back at it again. He like, so would you ever like do that? Like, if an older nigga like wanted to pay your bills and buy you nice stuff, like, and he giving you money, like, would you do something like that? Like, he's like, and I'm like, if you're single or in a relationship, like, would you do something like that? And I'm like, why? Like, why? He was like, I'm just asking because, you know, like, some girls, they be in relationships and they have a sugar daddy on the side, and like, they would spend their sugar daddy money with their boyfriend. And I'm like, so you trying to say you want me to have your daddy be my sugar daddy and he like buy us stuff? Like, and he's like, the fuck? Like, why would you say some shit like that? He just started getting mad. And I'm like, I'm just saying, because you keep on like trying to push this on me. Like, I'm asking, like, this point I'm trying to like see, like, what the fuck? Like, I wasn't serious, but I'm just saying, like, you know, I knew that was gonna irritate him, but he was irritating me. So it's like, so yeah, he like getting mad. He like, why the fuck would you say some shit like that? Like that. And I'm like, I'm just playing, like, because I'm trying to calm it down, because I really don't want to walk. We getting off the freeway. I'm not trying to walk into this house, meet all these people, and he got an attitude with me. I don't know these people, so it's now I'm gonna be by myself. So, you know, I'm like trying to play it off, laugh and joke. Oh, look at this video, like, on Instagram. So anyway, we get to the house, right? So we get to the house. He's introducing me to everybody. Everybody is outside, like in the back. And the house like was like the backyard. It was like the back part, and then it had a lake. It was nice as fuck. Like, you could put boats on the lake. It wasn't like a big ass lake to where you could like get on like jet skis and shit, but it was like you could drive a little boat slow, but you could go out. It was hard to explain, but it was nice. So anyway, so we get there, everybody in the back, and they just like chilling and stuff. They grilling up some food or whatever. And so he introducing me to everybody. So first people we see when we walked in was his cousins. So we gonna give them their names. So we first met his one cousin. This cousin don't need no names because he's not really relevant in the story, but his girlfriend is. So his girlfriend, I don't have a name for her. She was super cool. We're gonna just keep her real name. Her name is Jazz. So yeah, we'll keep her real name. It really don't even matter. But so yeah, her name was Jazz. And so we met Jazz, and then Jazz's boyfriend is his cousin. So Jazz and her boyfriend, they've been together for like years. So Jazz is like real in with the family. They've been together for like 10 plus years and shit, but they was our age or whatever. So I'm like, hi Jazz, like, hi. And she just real cool. She like, hi, like, oh, you're pretty, da da da. Like, I'm like, you too. Like, everything just cool. So then we meet his other cousin. His name, I'm gonna call him Goofy, because y'all always see why his name was Goofy. So Goofy come over there, and he like, oh man, like, I should have brought my girl. Like, I didn't know it was gonna be like this. I thought I was gonna bring the hoes. Everybody's gonna bring a whole bunch of girls. Me and Jazz like looking at Jazz like, don't pay Goofy ass no mind. He just playing with you. He be playing too much. And I'm like, oh, like thinking like, this what goes down. If I would have said no, like the hoes would have been here. So we meet Goofy. He didn't bring nobody with him. And then we gonna go ahead and give this cousin, he get a name. His name is Dollars. We gonna call him Dollars, and y'all gonna see why. So Dollars walked up with his girlfriend, and his girlfriend, we gonna name her DTF. And if you know what DTF means, that's why her name is DTF. If for the people who don't know, somebody explain down in the comment section. So anyway, I'll tell y'all eventually anyway. But yeah, so anyway, her name was gonna be DTF. So we meet them. I'm like, hey DTF. Like, she like, hi. Like, I'm like, hi, Dollars. And he like, okay, cuzzo. Okay. He like, yeah, stop playing no for real. Like, he laughing and joking with them. So I'm like, okay. So he like, come on, you gotta meet everybody else. And Dollars like, oh, yeah, DTF already met everybody, so yeah, y'all go down there. You gotta meet them by yourself, Simone. And I'm just like thinking like, ooh, they that bad? Like, go. So we ran into first auntie we ran into was Messy, and she like, crazy. Who is this? Oh, crazy. Who is this? Like, but she like doing the most and like laughing like crazy, and he like. Messy, this my girl, this the one I told you I was gonna bring. And he was like, she said, when you said your girl, I thought you was gonna bring. You know what? I ain't even finna do it. And I'm standing there like, and I look, I said, who she thought you was gonna bring? And I'm like smiling, but in the inside, I'm not smiling, y'all. I'm just like, the fuck, but I didn't want to seem pressed. And she, you know, but he like, this my auntie Messy. And I'm just like, oh, okay, I remember the name. So I'm like, because after she said who you thought he was gonna bring, that's when he was like, this my auntie Messy. So I'm like, hi. She was like, okay, hi Simone, nice to meet you. So what y'all, like a weekend couple for the weekend, or like what y'all, like this your man, like that? And he like, man, auntie, stop playing. And she just laughed. She like, let me stop. And she walked away. And I'm just like, ooh, what this bitch talking about? Like, this way I'm just like, okay, this bitch. Yeah, anyway. So we end up walking up. We see Bougie. I'm like, hi. She just was like, hi, like a little fake little hi. And then we see his daddy. We gonna name his daddy Freaknik. And yeah, so his daddy like, okay, son, what's up? So his daddy a little tipsy, and he like, son, yeah. And they talking, laughing and stuff. And he like, okay, who is this? And he like, this my girlfriend. I was telling you about this, Simone. So he like, okay, hi, Miss Simone. Hi, Miss Simone. I'm like, hi, reaching the handshake. And he said, no, we hug over here. And he gave me the biggest bear hug. Y'all know from high school to Where My Hug niggas, that was his daddy. And they give you the long ass hug where it's like, okay, stop, please. Like, that's his daddy was that. So Freaknik hugging me so hard, like tight, just squeezing me. And this hug was going on for quite some time. Like, I feel like the hug felt like forever. It probably wasn't. Probably like 2 seconds. But I'm like pulling away, like, I'm trying to be rude, but and then there go Messy. Okay, now Freaknik. And Goofy like, right, his ass know what happened last time. So then after that, I'm just like, okay, because I remember what he was just telling me in the car about his dad. So we go over there. We gonna name, I meet his stepmom. We gonna name her Pam, because she looked at like Pam from Martin. She was really pretty. So we're gonna just call her Pam because that's who she looked like. So I'm like, hi Pam, and she just was like, hi honey, like smiling, and she was nice. Like, so I'm like, hi, like she was like, hi. And I was trying to be on Pam's good side, because I remember he was telling me like, yeah, Pam do some, like she knew how to do fox locks and shit, and I wanted some. And I know y'all probably think like, what the fuck is fox locks? Y'all, so the whole time when fox locks first came out, short story, I thought it was called fox locks because I'm like dumb. And yeah, they call faux locks, and I just still call them that. So anyway, she was just like, so I'm trying to get in good with Pam because I want me some fox locks. So yeah, I'm just like, okay, hi Pam. So she was like kind of nice or whatever, but she just kept looking over at Freaknik, because Freaknik ended up walking to the cousins and their girlfriends, and she just still like looking over, like, you know, and she's smiling. She was being cool or whatever. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So let's fast forward to later that night, because after that was cool. We just all chilling. I'm just giving y'all the juicy details of this trip. So let's fast forward. Later that night, boom, everybody is just turned up, drinking, you know, smoking, like listening to music. It's cool. Like everything was just cool. Everybody just chilling, vibing. And then Goofy was like, let's play heads up. Y'all know the game on the phone, heads up. So we like, okay, like let's play heads up. So everybody going, whatever, everybody playing. When it got to my turn, I'm up there like this, and everybody's acting it out. Like the aunties is playing, the Pam is playing, Freaknik, everybody playing. When I get up there, Freaknik is in the back doing weird shit. Like he was in the back like doing like sexual stuff. So I'm just like not paying attention to him, because other people are walking like a robot, and he's doing like, what? Like, are you a sex robot? Like, so I'm just like going based off other people, because Freaknik, and he would just be, and when I guess it or like whatever, I would never guess what he's doing, because I noticed he was doing some way out stuff. So when I guess it, like he would just crack up laughing because he thought it was so funny, because he had peeped me, look at him like, fuck. But I'm trying to keep a smile, so it's like an awkward smile. So they probably was thinking like she's confused at what we doing, but it's like, no, y'all don't see Freaknik in the cut doing some freak shit. So I'm like, okay, like, so Goofy ended up noticing. He's like, man, you better stop. He like, Pam, you need to take him upstairs, because you know how he get. But he's drunk. Like, he is drunk. When his daddy's drunk, he was a whole different person. So everybody laughing. Only people not laughing is Bougie and Pam. And Pam is just like, looked so fucking irritated. So I'm just like, this is awkward. So y'all, so anyway, he did that or whatever. I noticed after that whole little situation when he said that, because he pointed it out like when I was up there, like So after that situation, they was in the kitchen like cleaning up and stuff. Like it was the 3 aunties, and I had went over there kind of like I want to help. Jazz was over there, she was talking and stuff to the aunties, so I went over there like, okay, I want to help like clean and shit like that. When I went over there, Pam was like, we got it. Her whole, like, she was a nice lady at first, but she had a whole attitude at this point. I'm just like, oh, you sure? Like, I could put something up, or like, guys need help? She was like, no, we're fine. We got it. So Jazz was like, okay, aunties, I'll talk to y'all. And she pulled me to the side, like, pulled me over and was like, let's go look at the little game room or whatever. So they had a little room and had like a pool table in there. But, she was just like, girl, don't trip. Like, they are not rude or nothing like that. It's just a long night. And I'm just like, oh, okay, like, so it's just me and Jazz. It was just me and Jazz, like, who ducked off and was talking, because DTF, she wasn't helping to clean up or nothing. She wasn't worried. She was hanging with the niggas. Like, she was always by her man's side. So, yeah, so fast forward, that night happened. So the next day, we have the next day, right? So the next day we were supposed to go, oh, no. The next day in the morning time, they had a chef come. The chef came and cooked everything. It was cool, mind you. The daddy only is turned up when he's drunk. So in the morning time, he's just cool. And I'm just walked by, like, came down the stairs. I'm being nice. I'm like, hi, Freaknik, hi, da-da-da. I'm hi, everybody. He's, hello. Like, daddy gave me a dry hi, like, girl, bye. So I'm just like, he must be hungover, but I wasn't really ever trying to give his dad too much conversation, because the conversation we had and the other little things he was doing. So, yeah. So I just wanted to tell y'all that he was not always on some creep shit. The alcohol put him on demon time. But anyway, so this day we were supposed to go jet ski riding, y'all. So we go jet ski riding. Mind you, it's hot outside. It's the summertime. Like, it's hot as hell. We're in the mountains. Like, it's summertime, hot. Like, come on now. So anyway, everybody, we going jet skiing. Everybody know, like, so everybody have on bathing suits. I have on like a 2-piece bathing suit, and it was, y'all know the Tommy Hilfiger bathing suits that people was custom making and stuff like that. So I had on one of those, and DTF, she had on like a whole thong bikini, like. It was a cute bikini, and it's like, I didn't see the problem with what she had on, because at the same time, this camping was all adults. Like, it was only adults there. Like, it was all of us. So I guess probably inappropriate around, I don't know. So yeah, so we so DTF had on her thong bathing suit. So we first coming down with our mans or whatever, and we walk up, and here Messy walked up to us. And she was just like, y'all ladies don't have no wraps or nothing like that to put on around your bathing suits or nothing like that. Mind you, I have a 2-piece on. Baby, what you want me to hop on these jet skis with some sweatpants and a hoodie? Like, the fuck? And I'm like, no, like, oh. I'm like, a wrap? I'm like, that wouldn't even go with my bathing suit. A wrap would just throw it off. And DTF was all like, yeah, we grown. We don't need no wraps. Like, if we want a wrap, like. And she was just like, like, okay, let me go away, because I'm about to say something that I don't even need to say. That's what Messy said, and then she walked off. And DTF was like, what's her problem? Like, because Messy had a husband there too, and Bougie too, but they irrelevant, so they ain't gonna name. DTF was like, bitches don't need to be insecure because I'm around. She's like, bitches don't need to be insecure because I'm around. She's like, just they need to tell their niggas not to look. And Dollars is laughing like, oh, right, baby. And I'm just like, the fuck? Like, why are you, like... Okay, yeah, Messy was kind of like, you in our business, don't do that. But yeah, so we out there and we waiting to walk over to like where we was gonna jet ski at. And Jazz come down. Jazz have a 2-piece bathing suit on, like how I have on, and hear them, Jazz, you looking good. Okay, Jazz, that's a cute bathing suit. Where you get that from? Jazz ain't got no wrap on. Like, no offense, no shade to Jazz, not like that, but I'm just saying, like, they doing like, why do we need a wrap? But Jazz didn't. Like, I was so confused. So I'm just like, okay. So we end up jet skiing and stuff. We had the barbecue pit or whatever like that. And Crazy was just telling me like, maybe you should have wore a wrap. Like, at this point, it was like time later after all that conversation even happened. Like, we already done got on the jet skis and stuff. And he like, maybe you should have wore a wrap. I'm like, for what? And he was just like, because like, I told you how my dad is, and like, you just... And I was just like, bro, you told me how your dad was on the way here. Maybe if you would have told me your daddy was Freaknik, then I would have just not came. Or like, I would have probably just not came. I'm not finna come somewhere and have to be feeling some type of way because your daddy want to do everybody. Like, the fuck? So I was just like, oh, well, you should have said something about your dad before. I would never came. And he just like, I'm just saying, like, you know how my daddy is. I don't know how your daddy is. I don't know your daddy. Like, this is my second day being around this man. So he's like saying that or whatever, and then Dolla's like, why you tripping, man? Like, why you tripping? You know OG like when we bring the hotties around. You know OG like that. And Jazz just like looking like, and I looked at her because I'm thinking like, Jazz is gonna tell me some tea, because it's something going on. Like, it's some tea that I need to know about this family. Like, what happened last time? Why do he like when y'all, like, come on now. So he just like, man, yeah, but I don't want him looking at mine. You know what happened. And Goofy like, yeah, we know what happened last time. So I'm like, what happened last time? And they ain't trying to say nothing. So his dad end up start walking up anyway. He's drunk because, mind you, we've been grilling, jet skiing all day, whatever. So Freaknik walk up, and Freaknik was just like, man, y'all really know how to pick him. Like, y'all know how to pick him. And here go Dollars. Man, DTF, get up, show him, do a little spin around for my uncle, show him. And DTF got up proud, quick with the quickness, and got up and just started like turning like around, like showing him her ass and shit. And he like, ooh, okay. She like, you like the way that fit? You like the way that fit on her, huh? And she just smiling. I'm just like, y'all, it was the most awkward shit ever. I'm just sitting there like, and Jazz was just shaking her head. Like, she did this to me, and she just was looking, just shaking her head. So I'm sitting there, and then they laughing. Crazy is laughing. Goofy laughing. Dollars laughing. She's smiling, happy, just showing her. And he just like, okay. And he's like, let me get a hug. So he hugged her. Here go Messy. Freaknik, you need to get your ass up off of that girl. Dollars, what the fuck is y'all doing? And I'm just like, oh, so that drew attention. And at this point, Pam, she looking, and she's just like, what's going on over there? And Freaknik like, ain't nothing going on, baby. Ain't nothing going on. I'm just, introducing myself to everybody. Bro, you introduced yourself to us yesterday. Dollars was like, crazy. Ain't you gonna have Simone show Freaknik her bathing suit? And I said, no, I'm good. And then Crazy was like, nah, stop playing. Don't even play like that, nigga. Like, don't even play like that. And he was just like, so man, you already know, cause I'll take her. And they laughing, and then Crazy like looking at him like with the cold stare. And then he just started laughing too. And I'm just like, the fuck? So at this point, I'm kind of irritated. And I told Jazz, I'm like, you want to go over there and get some food? Like, get some more food? And she was like, yeah, let's go. So we go over there, y'all, and get some food. DTF stayed, of course. And it was just like awkward, because it's like, yo, what the fuck? Like, at this point, I'm thinking like, what type of trip is this? This a showcase trip? Like, so anyway, later that night, we end up going back to the cabin or whatever. And y'all, the trip was, I'm gonna just tell y'all right now, the trip was cut short. And this is why we're supposed to be there from Thursday to Monday. We got there Thursday. And now this is Friday. So this is Friday night. The trip wasn't cut short for everybody, but for us it was. I was ready to go. But anyway, so we get back to the cabin, and this is Friday night. We get back to the cabin or whatever, and again, everybody chilling, listening to music and shit. Stuff had died down from earlier, all that other weird shit. So we listening to music, we vibing. Pam and the aunties Messy and Bougie, they was outside like on the deck part. And they just listening to music, vibing. All the like people my age and stuff, all the cousin stuff, we in the like living room or whatever, and we just listening to music or whatever. So me and Jazz, we just talking, just chopping it up or whatever. And the boys, they talking, chopping it up. And y'all, guess who's like the Freaknik? This whole time I'm thinking Freaknik is outside, but Freaknik wasn't outside, and we'll get to where Freaknik was. And DTF wasn't in there either. She wasn't by her man Dollar's side. So I had asked, asked Jazz, like, where is DTF at? And she was like, girl, Dollar says she in the room sleep, like she got a headache. So I'm like, oh, okay, like, So we just all chilling or whatever. And then Messy come in the house, and Messy is just like, where's Freaknik? And she was like, Dollars, where's your girlfriend at? Like, where is she at? And he was just like, she in the room, Nancy, don't do that. She in the room, Messy. She in the room, sleep. She got a headache. And she was like, okay, let me find out. She's like, well, we're Crazy. Oh, I was gonna say his name. She's like, Crazy, where your daddy at? Like, where is he at? Like, and I'm like thinking, I told Jazz, I'm like, Freaknik ain't outside with them? And she was just like, girl. And I was like, when she did that, girl, it was like, let me tell you type girl. And I'm just like, oh, so she like, so where Freaknik, where's you at in this house? Freaknik, where's you at? She yelling like loud. So Pam come in there, she was like, what's going on? She was like, Freaknik missing, DTF is missing. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. So Goofy like, oh, part 2. And Pam was like mad. Like you could tell she's mad. So she like, I'm about to go look for him. So she going upstairs or whatever, and Bougie was like, don't, like, she was like, y'all doing too much, like, don't do that, like, talking to Goofy or whatever. She was like, don't even do that or whatever. So he was just like, yo, like, sitting back, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, part two of what happened? And then Jazz was like telling me, because you could hear Messy still walking through the house, hey, looking for Freaknik or whatever, and he like, man, Dollars like, man, my girl got a headache, she's in the room, like, she laying down, she got a headache. So Jazz was just like, girl, it's about to be some shit. And I was just like, why? Like, what happened? She was like, girl, it's about to be some shit. And I was like, what happened? She was like, girl, last time, she was like, we came here to this same house. She was like, and Dollars had a different girlfriend. She was like, Dollars, them now his girlfriends. Like, Dollars know what he doing. Like, he could say they might be his girlfriend. She was like, but Dollars, he know what he doing. She was like, so Freaknik, if you haven't noticed, she was like, he be paying like girls, like he be tricking. And I was just like, oh, she was like, so yeah, Dollars know that, and he be bringing his bitches so they could get some money. She was like, cause Dollars is broke, like he's a bum, like he live off his girls, so he know he could get some money out of Freaknik, so he be bringing girls. Like, and she was like, and last year, she was like, last year the girl he brung, everything came out that Freaknik and Dollars girl that he brung last year was messing around. Like, everything had came out because the girl was drunk and just was talking too much. So she was like, so yeah, it's just bad. And I'm just like, what? Like, what? I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm like, he could have told me this shit happened last year, because I wouldn't have came. Like, you know, clearly she probably still, Pam is probably still scarred from this shit her husband be doing. I don't know why she's still with him, but, you know, like, I just wouldn't have came. It's just too much. Like, now I see why after the whole, like, outburst, she acting like that. So they looking for her. So next, you know, Freaknik come downstairs, and she just like, what's going on? And Messy like, where was your ass at? Like, she was just like, and she just looked at her and walked over to Dollars, and he's like, she was in the room taking a nap. So next thing you know, like, eventually, probably like a few minutes later, Pam walking downstairs with Freaknik, and Freaknik just like drunk as fuck. And Pam was like, y'all gotta go, y'all gotta get the fuck up out of this house, y'all have to get the fuck up out of this house. And she was like, so everybody like, what? And Max was like, what the fuck happened? Like, let me find out that bitch was up in there. And she was like, y'all don't need, why is y'all, she was like, Freaknik. And she was like, DTF, your girlfriend, she was like, this bitch don't need to be in no rooms with my husband. Talk, I don't care what y'all talking about or whatever's going on. She was like, she don't need to do that. If y'all want to talk, y'all be out here with everybody else. She was like, but y'all need to just leave, because I don't know, why is y'all bringing new people here anyway? Y'all need to get up out this house. She was like, I'm sorry, nephew, but you gotta go, and she gotta go. And she was like, y'all just need to leave, because y'all not about to mess up my camping trip. This shit not happening. And Goofy was all like, oh, this shit not. He was all like, yeah, because you know, last time, and come to find out your bitch was fucking not that. And then the girl that did mess with Freaknik the last time, they didn't mess with each other there, but like it had just came out. So I'm just like, oh, come to find out, like, they supposedly, Pam ended up catching Freaknik in the room with DTF, but they wasn't doing nothing. Like, they was just talking. Probably already did something, or probably was about to, who knows. So they was just talking. So it was just a whole mess. Everybody arguing. Crazy is just like, man, see, this is why I told you, like, don't come over here dressed like that. Now it's a whole uncomfortable ass situation. And I said, dressed like what? Like, for what? How did this turn on me? They talking about DTF, and you come over here telling me this is why you told me not to come wear shorts in the summertime in the mountains, because you want me to what? Wear what? So I was just like, you could have told me that y'all had a whole little family mess going on, because I would never came on this trip. And I was like, matter of fact, you could take me home and you could come back, because it ain't that far anyway. Like, you could take me home. And he like, oh, you really trying to leave? I said, yeah, I'm not about to be uncomfortable on this trip. And they, mind you, they arguing over there. Now me and him is arguing, because he's trying to tell me that it's basically my fault. He's like, because bitches don't know how to do shit on the low. Not me, talk about DTF. And I'm just like, the fuck? I'm like, so what? I'm like, because y'all weird. I'm like, this is just a weird ass camping trip. And Bougie was just like, yeah, because you're bringing, he was like, and these bitches with they fake bathing suits and everything, I just feel like it should be all family here. So I'm just like, this bitch, and you know, it's just so much going on. I'm not even finna say nothing to her, but it's like, bitch, you're talking about my custom made fucking Tommy Hilfiger bathing suit. Like, bitch, girl, fuck you. Like, The fuck talking about? And bitches with fake bathing suits. Like, I know she was throwing shades to me. Like, but it's like, bro, what did I didn't do shit with the man. Y'all didn't catch me upstairs with the fucking man. And he just like drunk, like, oh, shut the fuck up, Pam. It ain't that serious. Like, ain't nobody fucking on these girls. Ain't nobody doing that shit to nobody. He like, I ain't fucking these hoes no more. I told you that. And I'm just like, what the fuck? At this point, I'm not even trying to argue with Crazy anymore because he's talking some bullshit to me, and I'm trying to pay attention to what's going on because I'm just like, oh, is they finna fight? Because DTF was just like, I don't know who you're calling a bitch. Like, y'all not talking to me. And she was like, because ain't nobody talking to me. She was like, bitches is insecure because a bad bitch walk in the house and they husbands is staring. It's not my fault you old bitches ain't got it like that. And she just talking shit, and they just like, bitch, I'll be like, they really going at it with her to where Dollars is holding her back like freak. Hey, Dollars is holding her back like, hey, calm down. And Pam like, bitch, blah blah blah. They didn't end up fighting or nothing like that, but they really was going at it. So I'm just like, and here go Crazy. He doing this to me, and I'm just like, what do you want? I'm like, take me home because you're doing too much. Like, you want me to, like, you, why are you making this on me? And he's like, yeah, you do gotta leave because honestly, my stepmom don't feel comfortable with y'all here like that anyway. And he's like, and to be honest, they never wanted you to come. Then why did you invite me? It's not like I was there at your door begging, please take me on a camping trip that I know nothing about. Because remember, I told y'all he don't post shit. So if he would have told me he was going on a camping trip and I didn't go, I would have assumed that he was on some bullshit and no telling where he was at. Like, you know, so it's like, I didn't never beg you to come on this fucking camping trip with y'all shit going on, you know, like, y'all. It was a fucking mess. So we ended up leaving, and Jazz was just like, girl, you could stay. Like, it's no problems with you. Like, just stay. And I was just like, no, like, I'm gonna go because it's too much going on. Like, the shade, like, everybody, like, it's just too much. I'm not about to stay somewhere where I don't feel comfortable when I don't live far. Like, you know, I could go home. And she was just like, girl, so we end up exchanging, like, Instagrams and shit like that. Jazz was real fucking cool, but, man, everything else was just a mess. See, it was a mess, like, y'all, because it's like, Dollars, you bring hoes and be doing your thing, like, how you really just, I don't know. Dollars was really mad too because he had to leave, and I think he was mad because he probably was trying to get some money out of Freaknik that before the weekend was over, but his plans was cut short. So y'all, it was just a mess. Like, it was so crazy. And it's like, Pam, I could see her being mad, but it's like, honestly, she really should leave that man because it's like, he keep doing this shit. This is what he's gonna keep doing. So it's like, either you gonna get up and leave and get somebody you deserve, because she was a real sweet woman until she wasn't. But it's like, or you gonna settle for this shit. And you know, it's like, I don't know, it was just too much. Bougie, I did not like her. Messy, ooh, y'all, it was like more slick comments they used to just say, but it's like, ooh. But anyway, yes, that was the story. That shit was crazy as fuck. Crazy was not being too crazy in this story, but I still got more stories about him. I just had to tell y'all this because I was just like, yeah, I got a lot of stories of Crazy, y'all. So y'all will hear more about him for sure. But yeah, that was the story time about how Crazy's daddy tried to get with your girl and it went left. Camping trip ended. Nice Airbnb. I'm out now because your daddy don't know how to control his hormones. Like, control your hormones, Mr. Freaknik. Like, y'all. But anyway, that was the story. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't already done so, y'all already know what to do. I'm going to ask y'all one more time to go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Give your girl a thumbs up and comment down below. And we'll catch y'all in the next story time.